Girl, is this appealing? Get you caught up in the moment, then I'll get you in your feelings. Tell your boys that you gon' meet them later on. Both of us are so taxi, leave the meter on. First time you out in Cali, never tried no strong, so you gon' have some stories to tell when you take it back home and tell them one time, Snowy always showed you what it's like. Leave you sleepy like the call the umpire. Get you out and get you rolling, get you gotta go, I got a flight up in the morning on Sunday.
Hello, everybody. I'm Larry Ridley. You're tuned into the NFL on EA Sports. We've got a good one on tap today, and there's going to be two quarterbacks ready to get it done on the gridiron. It's the Vikings going up against the Bills. So let's send you up to Orchard Park, New York. Standing by, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Larry, thank you very much. We are pleased, as always, to be bringing you coverage of the National Football League presented by EA Sports. Today, after a crazy opening weekend, it's on to week 2, and we've got a good one here between the Minnesota Vikings and the Buffalo Bills. Carry now for Keith Marshall, and he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up second down. They tried to run the counter, just that the defense wasn't fooled.
And when they're not fooled, you see the end result, because what you're doing there, you mentioned the counter. You're using your offensive linemen sometimes to pull or move to influence the defensive front to go in that direction and create the space back in the other side and block it appropriately, which you're exactly right. Didn't move him, sat there waiting for him and made the play.
First down coming there on the intermediate passing play. That's been a point of emphasis, they told us in practice, using those medium routes to keep the defense off balance.
And it wasn't just them telling us. We got to watch them practice it and work on it, because they've been trying to fine-tune it and get it right before this game. And I think they have to be happy with the result.
Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down. And the big boys up front in the trenches, what do you think of the O-line, Charles?
I love them, because this is a group that's so cohesive. They know what the man next to them is going to do at all times, and they operate as a terrific unit.
Wentz to throw on second down. It's caught left side by Cooks. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs. And he's already got 2 catches on the opening drive. They know he's going to be a handful.
And sometimes you game plan for that offensively. You want to make sure that guy touches the ball, and sometimes it just happens naturally. And then you change your game plan. When he has the hot hand, you keep going back to him, because he's running routes with confidence as the game goes on.
And on the outside, they're playing press coverage.
All right, here we go. 3-19. No. Check. Patriot. Here we go. 3-19.
They'll run with Marshall. And he'll get a little over 2, maybe a full 3 down to the 32-yard line. And a look at the Vikings defensive unit.
Vaughn Alexander is one of the exciting linebackers in the league. His forte, speed.
On second down, here's Wentz. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is, that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
And the Vikings with an extra defender in the secondary on third.
Playing coverage here.
Now Wentz on third down. Try to force it to Hopkins, and it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And he'll get this back to the 32-yard line. And he may want to track down that football, because that's interception number 1 on his career.
You're saying that's going into the trophy case?
I'd put it there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That's when you ask the equipment guys to make sure they hold it for you after the game. But if you play in the back 7 on defense, that's part of your job, finding ways to take the ball away from the other team.
Now a carry for the former Michigan State man, Le'Veon Bell. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, But the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
2nd down and 4. He'll drop to throw. And this one complete to Jermaine Gresham. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this into enemy territory across the 40. Well, clearly one of his advantages as a passer is his height. Sit back in the pocket, fired over the middle. That makes things tougher defensively, doesn't it?
It really does, because your goal is to move the quarterback off his initial spot when he gets his drop back completed. But when you have that type of height, he can stay in there. If he's willing to take the hits and just fire over the top, which saves him time and actually completes a play a little bit quicker than it normally does for a quarterback that has to slide and find open space to throw.
And if this offense is going to flow today, certainly the running back will be a key piece.
Without a doubt, because they ask their runner to not just do that, but to block, to catch, to help set a tone for their offense.
And a short gain down to about the 33. They'll give him a yard on the play, and that'll make it 3rd down. And we take a look at the Bills' defense.
Kyle Fuller is one of those new breed, complete defensive backs. Eager to tackle, but a better cover man. The Bills bring out a couple of extra defensive backs to defend this 3rd down play.
Yeah, they're going dime. Back to throw, and almost picked off. I guess the good news for them now, it's 4th down.
I know ultimately that feels like a good defensive play, but I know it's really not. They had a chance to keep points off the board. Now they have a chance to kick a field goal by missing that shot.
Yeah, especially at this spot in the field. He's got to be upset he couldn't come up with that INT.
Yeah, this place has notoriously never been kind to visiting field goal kickers. You get those winds that really whip through the inner bowl, not to mention the urban legends about stadium workers opening and closing the tunnel doors. But for whatever reason, this one winds up off target.
It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
In today's NFL, you hear all the time about stretching the field and creating space in order to run plays. A toss play will help accomplish that, because now you're pushing a defense to chase you all the way to the edges and to the sideline. That's a nice run, probing now early to try and get things done later.
And the hit jarred loose. It's incomplete.
Everything about that play tells you about today's NFL offenses and what they're asking out of running backs. You can't just be a guy who can run the football. You have to be able to catch it as well, and he didn't get that done on that play.
Defense thinking pass. They've got the nickel set out on 3rd and 6. From the gun on 3rd down, Wentz trying to force it to Hopkins, and it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And a huge return as he'll take this one all the way down inside the 30-yard line. And the Vikings now heading onto the field. Last time out, they had that long 50-plus yard field goal that they missed.
And I'm sure on their sideline they're thinking to themselves, okay, do we still want to try one if we're in that position again? And I would dare say that the answer would be yes. They're going to have a lot of confidence in their kicker. But just to be on the safe side, I'm sure they told their offensive guys, can we get a little bit closer
get
this
a little
time?
closer.
Yeah, well, you know, I'd rather get in the end zone first and foremost. But if all else fails, less of a field goal attempt for him.
They'll set up to throw. And his throw's going to be incomplete. The tight end, Jermaine Gresham, the intended receiver. And it's 3rd down.
Normally, he's pretty reliable. Usually catches what's thrown to him. On that play, he simply dropped it.
Well, good field position to start the drive, but under the gun now here on 3rd and 8. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's able to get it to the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line. It would be a very makeable field goal try from here, but instead they're going to go for it.
And there's a run to be happy with. Good, solid yardage. He'll take that anytime you hand the ball to a back.
From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. And he's got Gresham. It's a gain of 9 yards. And on 4th Down, they're able to convert and move the sticks. Now a first down carry by Bell. And he is going to lose yardage here. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down.
There's so many things that go into playing the position of linebacker. Some of them are actually subtle. Doing the drill work that you do all the time in practice and carrying it over to the game. Get rid of blockers and get to the ball carrier, knock him down for a loss.
Back now with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Second quarter begins with the Vikings holding the football, but they face a second and long to start things out. Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. On second down, it's Bell. He showed off a nice juke of the defender before the next wave could bring him down. A nice job there as he rumbles for 9, and it'll be back to a 3rd and 3. They come out here in the eye. On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. And he fires one that's intercepted. And some room to maneuver. He's got the lane, and there he goes. Past the 20. And he is going to score. It's a pick 6 and a Bills touchdown. So from one end zone all the way to the other. Talk about a turnaround.
And how about the excitement that play generates for his team? Not just the points on the board, but the momentum and taking it from coast to coast, end zone to end zone. What a tremendous play. Now get that man an oxygen tank.
That's your boy Old Mo. You said momentum, right?
Old Mo, I think he's kind of limping across at the end because of that distance, but he made it.
This will be fielded at the 6. Then he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. Now the Vikings offense works their way back onto the field. And last time, decent field position through the pick 6. Obviously costly.
But they can't afford to just bunker in now. All right, good field position means go ahead and attack on offense. Try and press the advantage a little bit. They have to be better with the football on this possession.
So that didn't bother you too much last time?
No, because it's exactly what you're supposed to do. You can't have good field position and not try to take advantage of it. Sometimes the defense makes a good play, too. Tough day, tough sledding right there, and it's been that way the entire game. Not a whole lot of room to ramble for him.
Yeah, you're right. It's been that way all afternoon. Didn't get a whole lot better there. They come up in an offset eye. Again, it's Bell. And his rough afternoon continues. He's going nowhere again. Just a 1-yard pickup there, and it's going to make it 3rd down and 6.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
On third down, he'll drop to throw. Going right side here, and that's complete. And he will have a first down here at about the 40.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
They go play action here on first down. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done.
As if he didn't have enough to think about on that route, the comeback route, coming back to the football and catching it, decided to make sure he toe-tapped and kept himself in bounds.
And that was spectacular, but on the comeback route, maybe a little easier to deal with the sideline since you've got better vision of it.
I think that's a great point because you should know exactly where you're going and know how much space you have and make sure you get your feet down. But, yeah, coming back to the football, I like it. Good vision.
And the offense behind the chains here a touch on 2nd and 11.
No. Check. Patriot.
They come up with one running back. That's Bell. And they'll give it to him here. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. 5 yards on the carry there, and it leaves him with 3rd and about 6 yards to go.
On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot on 3rd down.
Jordan Matthews, the one he was looking for, and that'll bring up a 4th down.
Looked like he had an opportunity for a big play across the middle, but he didn't have the concentration or the focus necessary and dropped it before he could haul it in.
And this one is right down Broadway. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So 3 drives now for this offense, and that field goal gives them their first 3 points.
Yeah, as an offensive coordinator, if you're averaging a point a drive, you're in the wrong line of work. But in his defense, this has been a stifling defense so far. So they've got to start finding a way to unlock them as this game goes on.
And now out come the Bills. And following the interception, we'll see what they can put together on this drive.
I can hear my old college coach right now. He always used to tell us before every game, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. What they're hoping is that last mistake is their only one of the game.
Coaches, that's all they talk about, turnovers, right?
Minimizing those and maximizing opportunities.
And down he goes. They bring down Wentz on the sack. The sack recorded. It's a loss of 5, and now it's 2nd down. So the defense has put them in a tough spot. It's 2nd and long. They isolate Hopkins on the left side.
Green, 3rd. Leopard. Detroit.
Now Wentz throwing on 2nd down. To the sideline, and that is a heck of a catch as he was able to get both feet in.
If you're running out route, it's likely you end up near the sideline. And what did we just see there?
Toe tap.
You got it. The benefits of practice. Toe tapping, foot dragging, picking it up, and making sure it was a catch.
Blue 90. Back 99, Philly. Here we go.
Wentz going to try and throw on 3rd. And this is going to be incomplete. Philip Dorsett, the intended receiver. And it's 4th down.
Really good, smart play by the defense, understanding 3rd and short, guarding the first down sticks, and being able to make a play on the football and bat it down.
It's taken to the 26. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And it'll be Viking football here as they take possession. Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted. And we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that. And they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. See if they stay on the ground for 2nd down.
All right, now, look at 56. Let's go. Blue 90.
the play clock's running down. They'll look to throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. Now this is picked up by the Bills. And his guys will take over at the 30-yard line. And they'll start this drive with very good field position. Now after the fumble recovery, it's Wentz. Under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 38. Defensive end gets in there that time. They were in a 4-3. What's the responsibility, the ends versus the tackles there, Charles?
Well, most of the time when you talk about the ends, they're your pass rushers. They're the guys that you turn loose to try and get to the guy who's going to throw the football. The tackles, usually more of the run-stuffing variety. But the way this game is advanced, you're wanting a little bit of everything out of all of your guys. But let's just go ahead and break it down and make it simple. The guy who's the right defensive end versus a right-handed quarterback, that's the blind side. He's going after the quarterback. He's going to put him on the ground. Almost not fair. The big guy running the corner route, being able to lean and push and get to where he wants.
So how do you stop him?
A lot of times you want to have a linebacker on him, a bigger body guy who can handle him physically. But a lot of times that doesn't work as well because his quickness often ends the route.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. And the tackle there by Quan Alexander.
I like the call. Inside the red zone, running the toss. Why? They want to get to the edges. They want to see if guys who don't normally make a lot of tackles are willing to actually do that. That usually means the guys in the cornerback position.
Rolling now is Wentz. And this play gets blown up. They'll lose yardage. Back at the 17. He lost 2 there. And it's 3rd down. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. Offense needs 11. Have to think pass here on 3rd down. Ronnie Hillman in there. He gets the carry. And able to break 1 tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. They'll get 6 there on the run, but it brings up 4th down. Dan Carpenter now for the Bills field goal. And he missed it. It's no good. So some disappointment there as the field goal falls short, and we have reached the intermission as we send you down to our EA Sports Studios in Orlando, where we find our man Larry Ridley with our halftime report. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This will be fielded at the 8. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Out come the Vikings. They'll have it first on offense as we begin the 3rd. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically, what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive.
And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. That one will set him back nearly 10 yards here on 1st down on the sack. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. 0 accountability, and a sack resulted. I wonder what was going through his mind when he got the play call. He just got sacked on the previous play. He knows they're coming after him again. A little bit of guts to stand in there, take the hit, and successfully complete the screen pass. Really well done.
Here we go.
They'll go to the air here on 3rd and 2. Caught right side, Gresham. And he will have a 1st down as they get into the ground at the 37.
I know exactly what's going to be said about that play from the defensive perspective.
What's that?
That's why I tell all you guys we need more than one tackler to the ball. He broke the first tackle. Luckily enough, there were more people there to get him down.
Out of the pistol, it's Bell. And very little room to maneuver. He'll get this down to about the 39. A gain of 3, second down.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things. But the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
7 yards to go on second down. They'll go again with Bell. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. They get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues.
That's a good, nice, crisp run for a first down. I wonder if the defense might have been loosened up a little bit, maybe anticipating a pass instead of the run that they got.
And the offense lining up 1st and 10. Looks like the defense in press coverage here. Back to throw. And he connects with Vance McDonald. 12 yards there as they move the chains.
Partner, it's a lot of fun watching the NFL now, isn't it? Because when the big fella runs routes, it used to be when we were kids, he'd run about 3 different routes, and that was it. Now he can run anything and catch the balls we just saw there.
The give is to Bell. Oh, he shifts past him. And he's going to get this inside the 30. They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains.
It's funny, partner. Le'Veon Bell, when he came out of Michigan State, when I go back and look at my analysis of him and what my grades were for him, thought he was a big-time player, great potential. But I didn't know we were going to get this player. I was used to a big, solid, thick running back. But now I got a full package, a guy who can do everything, as we just saw there, including breaking tackles.
But at the time, 2nd-round pick in 2013, some people probably wishing they'd taken him in the 1st. And some options here for the offense on 2nd and 2. To throw here. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Trey Boston. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. So here's the Bills offense now. They get ready for their first possession of the second half. And they have to feel like they missed on an opportunity for points last time when they couldn't connect on that short field goal try.
And no doubt about it, because they were counting on those points. In today's NFL, let's face it, that's really a chip shot, right?
That's anything inside 40.
Yeah, they're counting on that going through the post. But we've seen it happen to teams before. Some of the best kickers in the world can miss kicks like that. Can they come back now and redeem themselves?
Hopkins on the grab over the middle. A very solid gain of 27. And that's one of his advantages of a passer, is now with his height, setting back there in the pocket, firing it over the middle, he can really see everything clearly.
It is, and I know that other quarterbacks get it done different ways, all right? You don't have to be his height to make a great play. But what he does is he takes away having to make those slide steps in the pocket to find angles to throw the ball through. He just throws right over the top of it because he can see everything, and sometimes that saves time and gets the ball to a receiver quicker.
And they're 6 yards away from picking up the first here on 2nd down.
Here we go. 3-19. Over.
Wentz to throw on 2nd down. And Cooks has it over the middle. A good pickup there at 22. He had time, was able to survey the field and find a soft spot in that zone coverage.
And that's where it gets difficult for a defender, Brandon. You go to your spots on the field that you have to cover, and when the offense finds an area that you're not in, that's where they throw the football.
Leopard.
In motion left goes a tight end. And some changes here as the D-line separates some. Here's Marshall. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense, and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
Here we go now. Gun. Detroit.
Now Wentz throwing on 2nd down. And this is caught for a Bills touchdown. Their big tight end, his first touchdown of the new season. And the Bills will add on to their lead. Sometimes those tight ends are a mismatch. They found the mismatch there.
And that's exactly why you want to draw up those types of plays, because coverage is just going to go to the natural guys, the guys that make the big plays on the outside. But if you work your tight end into it, that's a tough one for a defense to handle.
Tough. They couldn't handle it. They worked out for 6. And now out comes Minnesota. Looked like they had something going last drive. Then the interception happened. Will they recover?
The memory they need to keep with them is that they did have something going. They were moving the ball on offense, had a nice sequence going. Don't worry about the other part. You can't get that back. Let's go back to what you were doing well before.
I thought you were going to say they need to have no memory, but remember the good part, forget the bad.
I like that even better.
Eluding the pressure right. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down. A little bit of ground to make up for the offense as they face a 2nd and 11.
Here we go now.
On the counter, here's Bell. And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. 4 yards on the pickup there as they get it back to a more manageable 3rd and 7. Back now in Buffalo. It's the Vikings in possession of the football, but they need some points. They're trailing here to start the 4th. And on the outside, they're playing press coverage.
Here we go now.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. And he's got Snead. And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line. And in a 2-score game, obviously, every play, every 3rd down, like we saw there, magnified, big pickup.
It was a huge pickup. What they really want, though, is to not even get to 3rd down. They've got to maximize time and conserve as much as possible.
All right, here we go.
Back to throw now on 1st down. Escaping, and no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. The sack recorded. It's a loss of 5, and now it's 2nd down. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. Wide open receiver, complete. That one good for 16, and the drive will continue.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
They'll set up a throw. Caught right side, it's Snead. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down. Six yards to go here on 2nd down.
Let's go, defense. Let's get out the field, defense. Detroit!
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
It's a tried-and-true formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball, and you can put pressure on them and make it tough, that's only going to help your defense.
Yeah, he's since being hurried. He got rid of it before taking the hit, but incomplete. They'll look to throw. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
Well, they went for the big play there, but that drop could really hurt their momentum.
And they're in indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter. Let's see how this plays out.
Now let's go. All right, man. Lucky 56. Lucky 56. Back there it is, Philly. Here we go.
Got to try it here. He's back to throw. And they hit him as he throws, as this one's going to go straight down to the turf. Incomplete. And here come the Bills. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
All right, here we go. 3-19. 3-19.
They stay on the ground. This is Marshall again. And he might have got this across midfield, not by much. They'll mark it down at the 49. And in this situation with a lead 4th quarter, they're liking keeping the ball on the ground, I'm sure.
That's just smart football, but you know the defense has to know it as well. They've got to stop them here. So now we're going to see that loading the box in a big way. 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take, puts a little bit more pressure on your big offensive line.
And they're going to go soft on the corners.
Back there it is, Philly. Here we go.
To throw is Wentz. Caught left side, Hopkins. And he will have a first down as they get him to the ground at the 37.
And that pickup of a first down, that's going to leave a mark because they really needed to stop them there, didn't they?
So frustrating. Defensively, you're a play away from getting that football back here down late. Tough.
Now they've got to find a way to create a turnover or takeaway. Otherwise, this one will probably get away from them.
And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
And that's exactly what you want on a first down run. Pick up 5 yards, bring up 2nd and 5. The defensive line, though, they've got to figure out a way to out-leverage the guys up front because the offensive line is winning at the point of attack.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he is going to lose yardage here. They'll wind up losing 3. And now it's 3rd down. The 4th quarter here, they've got the lead. They want to keep it on the ground. That's what they're doing.
Smart football. Keep the clock grinding. Keep it going. But you got to figure now, they're going to see more people stacked up at the line of scrimmage as they try and bleed it out.
Now Wentz on 3rd down. And Latimer's got it. And he gets this down to the 18. Good enough for a first down. 17 yards on the pickup there, and the drive will continue. Red zone opportunity. So he makes the grab, and the chains move forward.
Nice job by the offensive line giving them time to complete that first down pass.
Now Marshall. And he is going to lose yardage here. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
The defense won that play so fast that I think if the running back even had time to notice if anyone was there, it was just a blink of an eye, and there was a loss on the play.
Time for a break. We'll come back to wrap this one up after this. Offense walks to the line for play number 7 of the drive. This is Marshall. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. 4 yards on the pickup there as they get it back to a more manageable 3rd and 7.
But you've got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball because they were in a 2nd and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to 3rd and manageable with that run.
This will be the 8th play of the drive. It's 3rd and 7. They come out here in the eye.
Green 39. Green 39.
On 3rd down, Ronnie Hillman. And he picks up the first as he's able to take it down to the 7-yard line.
On 3rd down, that's a good job of situational football and understanding where the first down marker was and getting there.
Defense still with 3 timeouts. We'll see if they want to use them here as the kneel down comes. Charles, I think when the schedule comes out, all teams, no matter where they're predicted to finish, talk about protecting your home turf. They were able to do that here in this one.
Similar to a tennis match, right? Not letting them break your serve. That way you hold on to it. They got it done, and they feel very good about that victory.
So for the Bills, it's a win here in their home opener as they move to 2-0. And they'll have another home date next week as the Indianapolis Colts come to town. Meanwhile, for Minnesota, they'll fall to 1-1. And they'll be at home next week for a date with the Seattle Seahawks. So that'll do it for my partner, Charles Davis, and the best darn crew in the industry. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. The Bills are victorious as we say so long from Buffalo.